You're about to see an incredible human document. An encounter with forces that no one on this earth really understands. You may find it shocking, impossible. But it is nevertheless evidence of a universe beyond the power of our five senses.
The evolution theory did not start with Charles Darwin. It started way before that. It actually started in the Garden of Eden with Satan when he said to Eve in Genesis chapter 3, Eve, if you eat off that tree, ye shall be as gods. The whole idea that man can progress and evolve and become better, is an idea that came from the devil in the Garden of Eden. Darwin simply made the theory popular.
Historical examination, investigate for solid ground and foundation. We dissect the infection, cut it out if it fits with intentions of Satan. Illuminate the deceptions, point them out and expose them for causing stagnation. They imitate education and invade the system like an infestation. We present explanations, annihilate and confiscate abominations. Shine light on illusions and inspire young minds to arrive at conclusions. Reconnect with corrected connections, then collect and reflect on the questions. Develop skills using scriptures as weapons. Sword at the spirit at my side for protection. Stand firm in my helmet of salvation and meditate on Ephesians 6:10.
Natural selection, fact or fiction. It's all objective to ask the question. What's the truth? What's imagination? Evolution or creation? Natural selection, fact or fiction. It's all objective to ask the question. What's the truth? What's imagination? Evolution or creation?
We suspect and expect some tensions. Flex my rhymes like muscles and tendons. Next lesson, course of section. First impressions, advertise perplexing. Educate with creation. With the Bible at our sides, it's truth domination. We battle demons from other dimensions. They make inventions with evil intentions. Not to mention they take possession on the battleground. They enter human beings through deception. Object to the voice when you see reflections. Call to the witness stand for inspection. Natural selection, fact or fiction. Examine the questions, don't get fished in. Education of delusion. Bait and switch from the micro to the macro evolution. Let's arrive at solutions using the word of God to eliminate confusion.
Natural selection, fact or fiction. It's all objective to ask the question. What's the truth? What's imagination? Evolution or creation? Natural selection, fact or fiction. It's all objective to ask the question. What's the truth? What's imagination? Evolution or creation?
Nobody's ever proven a good mutation. Some people say, well, bacteria become resistant to drugs. I said, yeah, that's because they lost information. It's like, somebody's coming through town and they're handcuffing everybody, hauling them off to jail, going to kill them. But you don't have any arms, so they can't handcuff you. You say, wow, that's beneficial. Well, it might be beneficial for the moment, but it's not beneficial in the long term.
Let's arrive at solutions using the word of God to eliminate confusion.
Natural selection, fact or fiction. It's all objective to ask the question. What's the truth? What's imagination? Evolution or creation? Natural selection, fact or fiction. It's all objective to ask the question. What's the truth? What's imagination? Evolution or creation?
Nobody's ever proven a good mutation. Some people say, well, bacteria become resistant to drugs. I said,
but these ships are coming in, and these annex, these Anunnakis are a branch of Lucifer's reptiles. Now, the reptilians that were close to Lucifer were the smart ones. They were the scientists, the leaders, technological engineers. He always had the smartest of the smart close to him. And they were the ones who would build things like CERN and Hadron Colliders and Nibiru's and, the leaders. He always kept them around him. These beings who were once fallen angels, once, standing angels, you could say, had offspring. They can procreate. I don't know how many times I have to say over and that angels can procreate. Because there's one verse in the Bible about angels not procreating, and everybody generalizes that to mean all of them don't. And that's not true. Lucifer procreated. The angels that fell with him procreated. The Watchers' rebellion, listed in the book of Enoch, took human women and impregnated them, and the Nephilim were born, the giants were born, the giants were their offspring. They could procreate with humans. The giants were their offspring, and there were at least 200 cities of giants at one time. There was 20 alone just in Canaan. Moses talks about it. Jacob, or Joshua and Caleb, had to destroy 20 cities of giants. And they described them as so big that they were just grasshoppers in their sights. They were grasshoppers. That's how big these giants. And the king of Og was described as about 9.5 feet tall. Goliath was about 9 feet tall. And there were giants much larger than that existed at the time. Enoch talks about two brothers, that one was 30 foot tall and the other one was 33 foot tall. That's huge. And they would eat hundreds of cattle a day. And when they ran out of cattle, they would start eating humans. So they would try to keep the cattle herd farms up to keep them satisfied so they'd stop eating humans. But see, this is what was going on back in the days of Noah, folks. You got these huge giants running around, eating everybody. People running in fear from their lives from giants coming at them. And the giants taking over the earth, basically building their own cities and surrounding them with walls so that they wouldn't be, I don't know who they think's going to come in them, but they had walls. Maybe they figured the humans would try some kind of stupid uprising against them or whatever, because they wouldn't have done anything. These things were 10, 15, 20, 25 feet tall. But either way, there was 20 cities just in Canaan. There was about 200 cities around the earth total. And you've seen their bones. The Smithsonian Institute in D.C. has tried to hide this fact of giants on our planet for years. And they've destroyed and purposely sabotaged the bones of giants. And we have their mounds. Just here in Ohio, we have the Serpent Mound, southern Ohio. Ohio has a long history of giants here. And they're scattered all over the West. Mounds and giant burial places. Because giants were everywhere. They roamed the earth. There wasn't just a handful stuck in the desert in Iraq. This is the mindsets, people developed. And it's because it's the one that's painted for us from the time we're little. You never really grasp the reality and truth of things. And when you start to question things, your religious leaders will make you feel like you're being unloyal to God. That, that's just lies, they'll tell you. And you feel afraid to question anything because you'll go to hell. That's how they control you. Fear, intimidation. Keep you in line. You believe what we tell you. Don't question things outside what we tell you. And if we don't have an answer, then it didn't exist. That's usually the basic attitude for a lot of them. If they didn't have an answer, it just didn't exist. There just wasn't truth. That's how they keep you dumbed down.
Då var kin, när Luxemburgs färdig, båda